everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my tarot channel. My name is Paulina, and I'm going to be pulling some cards for us today, doing a psychic tarot reading. I have no idea what it's about. I like to start these readings dry with no plan, but I do know that I work off imagery and I guess you could call it visions. Things that stick out to me during the day. There might be something in my mind, like an image, and then later I might see it, and then that synchronicity tells me something about the reading in terms of an energetic sense, but I still don't know like the logistics, just to let you know how it works. If you're interested in getting a reading with me, I do private one-on-one Zoom readings for $45 for 45 minutes. I also do pre-recorded readings, which will be sent to you within 2 days of your purchase. I accept PayPal and Cash App, and my name is the same, Paulina Perlwitz, on there if you want to schedule a reading. You can email me first at plperlwitz@gmail.com. I'll put the email below, and then I'll ask what kind of reading you would like, and then we can either schedule a time or I'll send it to you. And you are allowed one free, I offer one free question with a paragraph and one card answer as a consult before we meet, and I require payment before we do the session or before it's documented and sent to you. So just some stuff there. So the one image I did see this morning was a spinning wheel. And then later I was walking my dog and, or I was gonna go walk her, and then where I was going to take her was filled with snow, so I couldn't. But I saw this lane that had a bike image on it. I was in Stanford. That looked like, it looked like the spinning wheel I was imagining. So there's a twofold purpose here, that there's someone in this reading who wants to get, the person who's watching wants to get moving in their life, may feel like stuck, like a wheel that's stuck in the mud or in the snow. And also I love fairy tales, and so in Sleeping Beauty she has a spinning wheel, and I believe she pricks it because it's enchanted by a witch or something, and she pricks her finger and she falls asleep, something like that. So the wheel here could be about you, maybe you need some rest, but also maybe you're like wishing things were different and not able to find the momentum. Maybe you're feeling really harmed by some life event that happened. It could be like a life event that's sort of like just natural, like someone was born, someone died, someone was married, some sort of like changing event, or maybe I guess I'm trying to say that there's been a change that you don't have control over entirely, and it's hurt you and wounded you somehow. And we're gonna work on some of those things today in the reading. So I'm using two decks. I'm using the Santa Muerte deck, which is, and I mix them together, which is about the saint. It's like a sort of cult, like, of the angel of death, who helps people transfer to death easily. And it has really cool illustrations. I think I'll try to find it online and put it below so you can know more about it if you're interested. And then I'm also using this Native American inspired deck called Vision Quest, and I have memorized the Rider-Waite in my head, so I often reference the actual Rider-Waite tarot deck. And I have a lot, or I had a lot, but I have a lot of decks that I will be introducing soon, such as Mother Peace Tarot and Rider-Waite, and some Oracle decks. So I'm interested, and some King Krantz. I'm excited to get into that. But I've been working with these for a while, and I will say the reason is because the Vision Quest cards stuck out to me when I was in the store, because I recently went on a hike on the Appalachian Trail this summer, which is actually it's Northeast Connecticut does have part of the Appalachian Trail. And it's called Old Furnace State Park, if you're interested. And it was sort of like a hero's journey type thing for me, because I had been through some traumatic stuff this summer, and figuring out how to get to the top of it. It sounds easy, but I have a small dog, and I honestly don't feel safe hiking without her, and she loves being in the woods. So I had to figure out a way to get up this mountain with my dog. But anyway, the image on the top of, so it took research and time is what I'm trying to say. We went the roundabout way, we went the back way, the safe way. But like, I finally did get up this mountain, and the image of this card deck looked exactly like what I saw. It was just like a huge, we might get that card. The card itself is Vision Quest, and it's just a beautiful picture of someone on top of a mountain with like an eagle, and like the sun is rising or setting, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mentioned that anecdote about my own personal journey with my trauma and climbing that mountain, because you may, well, it came up in the reading because I'm telling you about the cards, and you may have something right now where it's like you need to go deep within, like a vision quest. The thing about vision quests is they are done in solitude, and often it involves abstaining from water, food, and I don't recommend not drinking water, but if you are going to fast, there are benefits. If you want to go like a day, maybe eat at night, or just eat like a couple pieces of fruit for one day, that can like really do something for not only your body and your gut and like all that, but also for your mind. And a lot of like feelings might come out that honestly your digestive processes have been masking, because if we think about the digestive process, there is dopamine involved here, and that makes people addicted to food and makes people overeat, but also it changes the chemistry and the hormones of the feelings. So that's why you might be in a better mood if you've eaten and you were hungry. But going without those blood sugar elevations and drops for a day, and without having that pressure on your digestive tract and your organs and your intestines for one day, it does do something. And you're able to sit with or discover things, maybe feelings, thoughts, ideas that you didn't have. And I don't know if that's biochemically, it might be because you're reaching a state of, let's see, I was going to say mild hypoxia. I don't think that's true. If you were to exercise in this state, you probably would, but you might experience like euphoria is what I meant. Like, that's where I was going with that. Like, if you don't eat, you could experience like a euphoric state where you, I think there's a specific name for it. Not getting it right now, but anyway, I've picked our cards that we're going to start with, and so I'm going to jump off that theme that you are someone who, there's been a change, you're dealing with some old trauma, you've felt pricked or triggered by this change, and now you feel like you need some rest to recover from it. And then also you are on a vision quest. I see that you're in solitude in some way. I don't know if it's okay, yeah, I'm getting this, you're broken up with some partner that is part of this. But it's not just that partner, it's friends and it's family. You're very alone right now, and that's okay. And I'm gonna get some advice as to how that happened and what's going on here. So we got Four of Air, contemplation. You're in a place of thought, gentle thought. There's a phrase in Philippians, is it 52 something, or I don't know, maybe 54, or I could be getting the number wrong. In Philippians, it says something like, you should only speak, or you should only think of things that are lovely, righteous, and true. That can get a little tricky because it's like, well, what if things that are righteous, true aren't lovely? But I'm paraphrasing, but the meaning there is that we control our thoughts. God gave us our minds, but we control our thoughts, and we don't want to, we have the power to control whether we're going to spend our time obsessing over things that we can't control, that have already happened, that have deeply wounded us, or if we're going to try to be focused in the now, centered in the right now. And we got 4, obviously, so that means, maybe not obviously, it means foundation and being centered and earth related, earthbound, maybe some grounding activities. 5 of Earth, insecurity. You're very financially insecure right now, and you're struggling, and you're thinking of like ways you could improve your life, and the 5 is about communication and change, but also we got a sequential thing here, 4 and 5. So I feel like you're like, I'm doing the steps to like get my life better. Why is it not getting better? Or like, you're like, you know, the thing is, we are in a tough economy right now. I know a lot of people would say, well, it's always a tough economy, but we truly are. There are job losses. There's less opportunity. There's less people hiring. So you're not the only one. There's obviously there's a lot going on in our country. There's the ICE fear. There's the tariffs that have affected businesses, and I'm not going to go on some Trump tirade because I do not like Trump, but if you do, I respect that we live in a country where everyone can decide what they want, because the opposite of that would not be democracy. It would be fascism. And in my mind, it's better that we have him now, because then he'll be done, and he truly can't, after this term, he won't be able to run again. So thank God. So I'm sorry if that made you feel, if you are a Trump supporter, you know, you can click away, or I'm not trying to impart hate. I'm just trying to impart, I guess, my authenticity. So you're struggling financially. And it could be because of Trump, some of these things, or it could just be like, you're just like in a financial hole. Like maybe you're like really like, I don't know how to get out of this. 7 of Earth, depletion. You feel like super, like you were like scrounging and saving and building and like planning and like, okay, I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be great. And now you're like, I'm just like so energetically frozen. I can't like keep doing this if there's no reward. Wow, this is some intense stuff. And I feel, okay, so we got the Lovers. So I feel that the person that you are separated from, I'm getting that you knew each other for a long time, and it's been very on and off, and it's been very, but at the same time, there's been a lot of depth and a lot of growth and a lot of love here and a lot of friendship. So there's frogs in this interpretation, and frogs can be related to change, and also traditionally just the idea that a frog can either go too fast, or, you know, it can like hop too fast to something, or can like move too slowly. Amphibians. So like maybe that's what happened in this relationship, where it was like a lot of things would happen in a condensed period of time that like bonded you, and then the person would withdraw, or you would be like not pleased with their behavior after this close time, and you would withdraw. Or there was also a choice here, because the Lovers is about choice. But unfortunately, this person is also really also in the same place as you financially, and they are not, wow, this is a lot. They're not happy. But the thing is, Father of Earth, Daughter of Fire, King of Wands. You're gonna make a new life. You're gonna make a change. You're not gonna accept this situation. I don't know what it is. Maybe you have to work at McDonald's for a couple months. I have no idea. You are a fighter, okay? King of Wands does not give up. King of Wands forges the path forward bravely with that fire energy, which is about, it can be intense, and it can be blunt. It can be, give me what I want. It can be anger. It can be, I don't know if coming after that last person, maybe your lover had some anger issues, but that it actually weirdly allowed you to connect with some of your anger, and then maybe they labeled you now as the angry person because you're so, now that you've interacted with them, you're more empowered to be like, well, I'm mad too. And I want you to use that anger to get out of this situation, to pick yourself up. If you fall down, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you keep going. That's what this is saying, is charge ahead. Let's do this, okay? And then Daughter of Fire. You can always make your own, see how she's doing the, I was gonna say peyote. She's doing the, like, I don't know, smokestack. I'm like not thinking clearly today. The Palo Santo or sage to clean the air. So I think that not only do you have the power to create your own fire, but you also in your own opportunities, I think you're forgetting this old self that had less opportunity than you have now. If you think way back, way back, I'm talking like 15 years if you're my age. I'm 38. That person, maybe you were in college, maybe this is your child self, I don't know, maybe you grew up in like abject poverty, but you were working with nothing, and you made magic happen, did you not? I'm getting age 21 specifically, and age 12, because I saw the number 12 today a bunch of times. Yeah, obviously 1 and 2 adds up to 3. 3 is a number about actually creativity and fertility. So I think there is a possibility to, yeah, maybe you're like thinking also, maybe you're a woman or a man, and you're like, I want to have kids. I don't have any money. How am I going to do this? There's time. There's time. I just saw today Kristen Wiig, whatever, how you say it, the girl from SNL, she's like 52 and she's a 6-year-old. So I used to babysit a woman who was 50 and had twins with in vitro. I mean, not everyone is gonna have that happen, but so you also are feeling like, yeah, you're like, I can't do anything. I can't figure this out. Like, it's like a puzzle. Like, I'm seeing like a Rubik's Cube, but you're not powerless. You're not, especially if you have like, if you have your arms and legs, if you can talk, if you can think clearly, if you have a generally healthy body, you are so blessed. Okay. I used to see this girl working at Walmart with one arm in the liquor store. This is many years ago in a different location than I am now, and she was amazing. People would stare and ask her things, and she didn't give an F. She needed that money. Disability obviously wasn't paying enough. She needed that money. She's not going to stay at home. She's going to go out there how she is, as is, and get what she needs. And that's the energy I want you to tune into here. You have you have more skills you have not only skills, you have resources at your fingertips than you are realizing. And it may take clearing the air, clearing your mind, clearing your body to access the thought process that will reveal those options to you. So you're needing to do maybe some exercise, some yoga, like a long walk, some meditation, maybe just a day off, maybe talking to a therapist. I don't know, journaling. I do Al-Anon when I feel like it. I go through spurts of being obsessed and then not doing it for a while, but it's basically group therapy for people who've either grew up in an alcoholic home or had an addicted or alcoholic partner, which many of us are part of. It can also just be for people who have sort of traumatic upbringings that are mirroring alcoholic homes. But so we also got the Father of Earth and the Six of Fire, Victory. Yeah. So there is the Father of Earth. I'm seeing that there's going to be a male figure here. It's going to help you financially. I don't know if he's going to offer you a job or if he'll be a client or I'm not sure what that will be, but he is older than you and he sees your talent, and this may be years down the line. I'm not sure when this will be. It's maybe next year, but you may already know this person, but he specifically a man is going to help you with your finances. I'm not saying he's going to pay all your bills and be your sugar daddy, but I really don't know what the situation is. He's going to, it could just be a therapist that's a man that's older that guides you, or it could be maybe a supervisor at a job who sees your situation, or a new lover. You could find an older lover, or it could be like someone from your past who comes and like even just gives words of wisdom and like thoughts of like what you could do, some logical grounding thoughts. And Six of Fire, Victory. There is something magical coming. The Six of Wands is about public recognition. I'm seeing like I'm seeing notoriety. I feel that you've been hiding a lot in your life, or you've been undercover. You've been doing what you do with no recognition, whatever it is. I don't know if it's in the arts or the not arts. Sorry, I'm an artist. That's how I think. Whatever you do, maybe you're like a world-class juggler, or like you're a great runner, or maybe you're like really good at like I'm just keep thinking of creative things like building. I was thinking of like carpentry. I don't know what you do, but it has to do with the number 6, which has to do with love and choice, and it has to do with you being seen, you being known. I'm gonna get a little intricate here. So if you look at these arrows, the arrowheads were carved by hand by Native Americans. So I'm getting like, this is something that you have to, maybe literally it's a craft project that you're selling online. I'm not sure. This is something that you're molding, this new life by hand, and then pinpointing and if you've ever done archery, you look at the bullseye, you pull back the string and you let it go. So that's what I want you to do. It's almost like a vision board. And in terms of that person and the family that are sort of not in your sphere right now, I'm getting that they have their own financial worries, and they're in pretty much the same place as you are, but maybe a less severe situation. So maybe you have a consciousness that is lack mentality, like I don't have what I need, and that doesn't, it is related to money. Like I'm not denying that you may like legitimately be in poverty, but there's more there. Like there's like, I don't have enough to live. Like I don't have the resources, and that's, I might want to look at why. Okay, I got, these are our final cards. I got Four of Swords, which is about rest and repair and restoring, and just it could be about silence, not speaking, and again the Four of Stability. And yeah, with the person that you're not talking to, I would keep it no contact right now, and even with the family, because you are, and I also mentioned friends had gone from your life. none of these people, I'm saying all of these people actually are all very poverty oriented. Most of your friends, most of your lovers have been, and your family. And so I'm thinking you picked that up also from them. And you may literally be in poverty right now. But also, like, a reason you're not meshing with them is because you're trying to think of ideas. You're trying to think of solutions. And these people aren't. They're like stuck. Not just in their financial situation, but in their lives. And then we got the Star. So the Star comes after the Tower, and it's about spirituality. It's about being watched over spiritually. It's about really about regeneration in a way. And there's a pelican here. A pelican is a symbol of Christ because there's a story about a pelican making its, wounding itself so to make itself bleed to feed its young. It's like an old story, and that's similar to Christ. But yeah, I think that that's in a negative sense here. I think that you've really punished yourself, but I'm seeing good fortune. I'm seeing positive things happen. If you could just hold on a little longer and do some clearing of your field, do some meditation, do some inner work, and really try to listen to that inner voice. Like, what is it saying to you? And then hopefully that can change your consciousness about what you can do and realize the abundance that you really do have. I mean, when we look at people who are, I don't know where you're watching this from, but I'm not in a third world country, and I'm incredibly lucky. There's running water. There's, doctors. You might want to make a gratitude list, because there's kids in Africa who are starving to death, and they have swollen little bellies because of the hunger, and there's not much people can do. There's also an AIDS crisis in Africa. I care deeply about AIDS because a family member of mine died of AIDS before I was born, and that's always been a focus of mine in terms of activism, so that's why I'm mentioning it here. And if you do have AIDS and you're watching this, I'm sending you a lot of love and a lot of peace, and I'm sending you also, really, this is the same message for you too. And really, anyone with any, I'm going to open it up here, any sort of chronic, life-threatening illness that someone is facing right now, like this is just coming in at the end here. And you're feeling like the wheel of time is turning without your consent, just know that you can control your thoughts. You can think about beautiful things. You can control, because when we let ourselves spiral is when bad things may start to happen, and because we're losing control of our energy. When we have control of our energy and bad things do happen, we can handle it. And we're in a place of, I've got this. My favorite phrase I like to use when I used to be a big runner, and I would run like 8 miles a day or something. Now I mostly swim, but I do yoga, and go for hikes. But I used to say when I was in that running phase, palm of my hand. Meaning it's in the palm of my hand. I got this workout in the palm of my hand. Like when I would be like at mile 5 and I'd be like, I can't do this. I can't run home. I can't do this anymore. I'd be like, it's in the palm of your hand, bitch. You got this. And that would get me through. When I passed the real estate license test, it took me like 8 times to pass one of them because I have ADHD and I'm really bad with tests. I just kept saying palm of your hand, palm of my hand. The way I finally learned was just memorizing the questions, like the image of the question, because I have like a photographic memory rather than the actual material, because I took it so many times. Now I know the material, but anyway, I'm sending you so much love, and got a little intense there with the possibility of someone watching this with life-threatening disease, but I want to tell you that if that is what you're facing, and that's really intense and scary, and I'm with you emotionally, but I can sense that you've had a very, very beautiful life, and I want you to not be afraid, because I'm not going to say it's all going to be okay and you're going to get better, everything's going to work out, but I'm going to say that death is a process of life, and just like being born, and if we can go through that without fear, it's a lot more helpful. And I really recommend Ram Dass for that. If you want to go on YouTube, there's like a plethora of information of him talking about death, because he worked with the dying for many years. And in my mind, or in his mind, it's about eternal bliss and, you know, communing with eternal consciousness and source energy. And he worked a lot with people with those, helping them with those feelings of frustration of, I should have done this and it's not fair and I'm scared. And what he really focused on was finding peace in the moment that is. And that works for people who are also not dying. So I leave you with that, finding peace in the moment that is. Thanks so much.